All right, today we're going to be looking at figure 385. And 385 can be found on our classroom management page, which is a simple L bracket with some circles drilled into it. So we're going to do a simple extrusion, and the book doesn't provide a thickness, so we're going to make our part 1 inch thick. We'll remember that. Okay, and we're just going to draw a simple rectangle that matches up with the dimensions. And so in order to create a sketch, I'll go up here to plus sketch. And we have 3 options, right? I'm going to be looking down at my part, so I'll select the blue-red plane or the top work plane here. I have my 0, 0 in the middle. We'd like to try to get our drawing to be as close to 0, 0 as possible. So what I'm going to do is go to sketch, rectangle, and a center rectangle. I start to draw my part, and my drawing is 7.125. Actually, my height is 4.438. My tab, my length of my part is 7.125. All right, I'll zoom out here so I can see a little bit better. And then I have the little L shape that I need to lop out this little rectangle here at the bottom. So I'll draw that shape. And I'm just going to be careful so I don't click on things like the midpoint or on anything along this dashed line. So I'll come out here somewhere, click. As I go across again, I'm going to try to not click on the green line or this diagonal line. I'll stay just a little bit away or a little bit past it, somewhere in there. And then I'll just go straight down. All right, so I have this little notch that I'm going to cut out. And in order to get rid of these 2 lines here, I'm going to go up to sketch and go down to trim. And I'll hover over the line I want to get rid of and the second line I want to get rid of. Now this doesn't look exactly like my part, so I need to dimension this a little bit. And I'll go to sketch, sketch dimension. And we'll just look at our part and we'll see what dimensions we can use. And I see that they give me this dimension here, and it is 2.25. All right, now that threw my drawing all over the place. Okay, so let's zoom out here, try to take a look at this. It got a little bit crazy because there's this dimension here based off this white dot. So we'll undo that. Let's try to take a look. That 7.125, see how it went to this lower point here? Well, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to delete that dimension for a second. And I'll go up here, I'll dimension this line instead. So sketch dimension. And I'll make that 7.125. Looks good. Hit enter. And now I should be able to go and double click on this and type in 2.25. There we go. So sometimes, depending on where our dimensions start and stop at, our drawing might get all crazy. So just got to be careful there because we had that reference point on here. The other dimension I have is this bottom piece here. I drag it down, and this is also 2.25. Okay, looks pretty good. Now we have 3 holes in our part, and there's actually 3 different ways to create a hole. So I'm going to do all 3 of those today for you, and you can pick the one that works best and go from there. All right, so let's stop sketch, and I'll hit the house button, and there's my 2-dimensional part. Well, we want to make this 3-dimensional, and the book did not provide us with a thickness, so we'll make it 1 inch thick. So let's go ahead and create. Click on my shape, and again, I can grab the arrow and drag up. I can type my number right here in this box, or there's also a dimension box over here. So ours is 1.00. Hit enter. Now again, 3 good ways to add a hole. The first one is to put the hole in the original sketch. So in order to go back to that original sketch, go down to the bottom of your screen here. You see all these fast forward, rewind, and play buttons. And right next to that are the 2 things we've done. We created a sketch and we extruded. So I'll go to the sketch and I'll right click on the sketch. And it's not showing up as edit. So let's try that one more time. Hit the escape button. And there we go. Now there's edit sketch. And it takes me back to the original sketch. So I'll go ahead and put in one of the holes right now. So sketch, and it's a hole, so circle, I like center diameter circle, but there are several options. So center diameter. Again, when I go to draw this, I just want to be careful. Don't draw it on the diagonal because we're going to want to put some dimensions in here. So I'll just come over here a little bit. Notice that dashed blue line? That's the midpoint. If I start at the top and work my way down, it actually snaps to the midpoint. If you don't like that, you might want to hover up just a little bit. Well, don't want that circle. Let's try again. Sketch, circle, and just come out over here somewhere, maybe not touching that dash blue or that dash black line. And I'll just draw a little hole here right now. Now, how big is the hole? It's 0.625 diameter. Okay, and it does say on the computer here, specified diameter, so that's good, 0.625. And I'll hit enter. Kind of hard to see my dimension, so I'll grab the dimension and I can drag it up out of the way so I can see it. Now, that's not where we want our circle to be placed. All right, there's actually a couple other dimensions here that we need to use to place it. And we need to locate our hole top to bottom and left to right. Okay, top to bottom and left to right. So what I can do is I'll go up here to sketch, dimension. And the first thing I want to do is I want to go from the top to the center of the circle. And you see we have a dimension here. The computer tells me it's 1.50217, but the book tells me it's 1.125. Okay, I'm going to enter. And that looks pretty good. Now I also need to locate it left to right. And if I look in my book, I'd really like to just go from this left edge to the center point, but the book doesn't give me that number. I'd have to do a little bit of math. So the next thing I do is I say, all right, well, let's go from this far side to this center point and go up. Now I look at my book, and my book also doesn't give me one dimension to use here. It gives me two dimensions. So I can say 2.437, like it says in the book, plus 3.20. And I can enter. And it'll actually locate it. So I can use fractions. I can use plus and minus, multiplication. I can do that. Okay, that works. So it looks good. And then I just go to stop sketch. Now, the hole's not there. So I could go to extrude down here in the bottom left, right click on the extrude. Again, I needed to get it highlighted, so say escape. Edit feature. And now I see the hole is there. So if I click that, if I click the hole once, notice that there's a little red circle around it. Now when I say okay, the circle is there now. The hole, our hole is there, right? And I can grab the little block up here in the upper right-hand corner. I can see that there is definitely a hole there all the way through. All right, so that's method one. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't. Let's take a look at method two now. Well, I have my drawing, my part is sitting here, and I can go over here to sketch, and I want to identify where to put the sketch. I could pick those orange work planes, but why not just select the top of this part? So when I select the top of this part, it puts me into a sketch. Look up here, it says upper right-hand corner, stop sketch. So I'm inside a sketch right now. I'll just go to sketch, circle, center diameter circle. I like that one the best. And I'll go over here and I'll place another circle. How big's my diameter? Well, the book says all three circles are 0.625. And actually, hole would be the correct terminology, right? Again, I can't see the dimension real well, so I'll drag this up. And again, we need to locate this up and down and left to right. So sketch dimension, from the top of the part to the center of the circle is 1.125. And then from the right edge to the center, I go up, and the drawing or our example here says 2.437. Okay? And that's all I need for this sketch. So I can say stop sketch up here in the upper right-hand corner, stop sketch. Now the hole is sitting there, or actually now it's just a circle. Right now it is a circle, and we want to turn that into a hole. So let's go up here to create. And again, different versions of SketchUp. Yours might look a little bit different, but just go find the create icon. Just hover over the icons till you find the one that works. Create. Click on that circle, and the arrow's pointing up. Well, do we want to go up? No, I want to make a hole that goes down. And I can drag this into oblivion and just go to the very bottom. And notice it does turn red. if you look at the pop-up menu, notice that the operation is set to cut. It wants to cut a hole. Now, again, I could just drag it down and it would be okay. We want to be a little bit more accurate. So over here where it says extent, I can do distance and say all. And now it'll just cut through the thickness of the part. And you say, okay. Again, I can grab my little block here in the upper right-hand corner, and I can see that there are 2 holes drilled through. So that's the second method to make a hole. The third method, under the Create menu, under the Create, if I drag down here, I can see hole. And a little pop-up menu comes up and says, where do you want to put this? What face or what point do you want to put this on? Well, I want to put it on this top face. And I want to get pretty close to where it goes. This bottom hole is down here somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to get close to it. I'm going to click there. And it gives me this gigantic circle. This huge hole is there. We'll come over to the pop-up menu. It says depth, diameter, tip angle, extent. So first thing, let's do all. And then diameter. It gives me a diameter of 2 inches. Well, my diameter is 0.625. Don't hit enter. Don't hit enter. The next thing, though, this is not where I want it to go. Well, I need to create some references. Up here in my pop-up menu, notice it says references and select. And again, every version of Fusion is a little different. You're going to need to look around for references or locations, right? Look for the one you need. So right here is select. Well, I want to reference it from the right side edge. And I also want to reference it from the top. So let's do the top first. So I do the top, and it gives me a dimension. Now the drawing that we have from our book, or the one that's on our course management page, it actually gives me 2 dimensions. So again, this is a time where I can say 1.125 plus 2.313 and hit enter. All right. Now I'm not quite done. So if you did do enter, all right, we still need to locate left to right. So be careful. I want to select my right edge now. So I click on that and notice that a dimension pops up. Now my course management example, or in our textbook, if you go find it, it actually doesn't give us a number. It just gives us that the thickness of this is 2.25. So what I'm going to assume, 2.25, and we all know assuming is not the best thing for you and I, but 2.25 divided by 2. Let's put it halfway in the middle. We're going to just assume it goes in the middle. And now we'll say okay. And I have my third hole. I can rotate the box around a little bit. I can see that all 3 holes are drilled through. I'll click the home button just to be safe. Now, part of my drawing's cut off here if you're looking at my example. So what I'll do is I'll zoom out just a bit, zoom back in just a bit, make sure that drawing's nicely framed up. And now I'm ready to go ahead, and for our assignment today, we're just asking you to take a screenshot. So either print screen, or depending on the laptop you have, you might have an ability to use a snipping tool. Whatever works best, you're just going to grab a screenshot and upload that for our drawing. And that's all we have today for Figure 385. Good luck.